I'm down to one slice of bread. Took it out of the freezer yesterday. Meant to make bread last night, but with all the being stuck inside doing corn last night, I went for a walk instead. And now, even though my kitchen is full of vegetable soup and there's very little space here on the island to work, I'm going to make a loaf of, my regular bread machine, half whole wheat bread. And I'll show you the recipe. Okay, just like all my recipes, things are scribbled in and crossed out. But here's how I make it. 1 7/8 cups of water, 3 cups of whole wheat flour, and I grind that myself, and then 1 3/4 cups of bread flour, 2 to 3 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of butter, 1.5 teaspoons sea salt, and in the summertime, about 2 teaspoons of yeast. In the wintertime, maybe 2 1/4 teaspoons. I also add a tablespoon of dough conditioner and a couple tablespoons of powdered buttermilk, but that's not necessary. I bake this on the regular wheat cycle, and I'll show you in the morning what it looks like. Let's gather the ingredients together. Oh, what do I have on here? Summer, use cold water. So we will use cold water. I'll make it overnight, set the timer, and it'll be done in the morning. I store my flour in the freezer. There it is. That's where I froze the corn yesterday. Here's the flour. Okay, here's a 1 7/8 cups of water, and this will make a 2-pound loaf. Don't know if it'll work in your bread machine. Every time I get a different bread machine, I have to sort of fiddle around with the recipe until I get it exactly right for this machine. So, all right, there's 3 cups of white wheat flour. Actually, it might be part spelt. I think it's part spelt and mostly white wheat flour. Okay, next in will be the bread flour. I use King Arthur. Alright, next is the butter and the honey. 2 tablespoons of butter, cut in smaller pieces here. And then I think I'll do a couple tablespoons of honey. This is honey I bought, local honey, from the FFA members last year. There's 1 tablespoon. It's close enough. And 2 tablespoons. I will have to clean the rest of that off. I'll take care of that. Now I'll make a little well. Because I have this on timer, the yeast cannot touch the wet ingredients. So I'll make a little well here, and in the well I'll put the yeast and the salt, and then I will put my dough conditioner and buttermilk there too. Dry buttermilk. I buy yeast in 1 or 2 pound containers. This is active dry. I think usually I get instant. Must have got this at Costco instead of the local store. So 2 teaspoons right there in that well, so it's not, and I'll be very careful putting it back in the bread machine so that it doesn't touch any wet ingredients. There we go. Okay, and then I will add a couple tablespoons of buttermilk. I will add 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt, and then this is the dough conditioner. It says 1 tablespoon for every 3 cups of flour, so I'll put 1 tablespoon of that in on the top too, and that's it. All right, I've got it all set to be done at 7:20 tomorrow morning. Okay, it's 7:10 in the morning. It says complete. It's steaming. Yeah, I have to put away all those jars of vegetable soup, and whoa, looks like we've got a beautiful loaf here. I need to get out a cooling rack. I'll dump it out and show you what that looks like. Shouldn't slice it when it's warm though. It needs to cool off for at least 15 minutes. Okay, and there it is. I woke up this morning and there's the rest of the jars that I need to unscrew the lids. Yeah, they come off real easy, and then wash around the edges here. It's nice to wake up to the smell of bread. Of course, when I shook it out, let me see if I can show you this. He landed on his head. He's not supposed to land on the top, but that's okay. Top got smashed in a little bit. It's still a nice tall loaf. I have a good bread knife. I will cover this with a towel so the flies don't get to it. Once it's cooled off, I'll slice it up and freeze most of it.